Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thomas. So today I will let Thomas share about high ticket closing. So take it away and then you can introduce yourself first and then you share what you want.
All right, thanks John, and thanks everyone for being here. So just to share a little bit about my background, I started sales in investment and insurance. I've been doing it for more than 10 years. And after that, I decided to branch out by coaching people about sales. So essentially right now I work with mainly service providers as well as salespeople to sell at a high ticket level. And from there, enjoying my life so far.
Wow, and every time I see you, you look younger.
Prosperous as well.
After Zoom, I'm going to ask you for your secret, anything that I can eat to reverse my aging.
All right.
So I know that for high ticket closing, in my experience, pretty much the mindset also must be there. As much as people are looking at what are the ways to close high ticket, maybe you can just share like whichever aspect you want, mindset first or the framework, up to you.
Right. So we have the mindset part and the skill set part, right? And we always want to start from within, right? Begin from the within because our mindset is what influence our beliefs and our actions itself. And I think there are a few mindsets that we need to adopt when we go into this. The first is that we don't look at high ticket as high price. We look at high ticket as high value, right? Essentially, at the end of the day, you deserve the amount that you charge because you are giving him so much more value. And I always tell my clients that they must look at it from the angle that even though the price may seem high, what they are giving in return is such a no-brainer. So when you have that perspective itself, right, you will look at it as, wow, I'm charging this amount of money, I'm charging such a high price, will they hesitate, will they take a step back? But no, you are giving so much value that it's a no-brainer that they will want to sign up for it. So that's the first mindset that you want to go into, right? The second mindset that you want to go into is that at the end of the day, different people trust you on a different level. And different people, maybe they have different readiness, they have different budgets. So even if they did not get your high ticket product at that point in time, I will always have a recommendation of having so-called backups. And this is what we call having a multi-tier offer. Let's say at this point in time, you propose that high ticket item, hey, perhaps they are not ready yet or they don't trust you at a certain level yet. Then you can always take a step back to something smaller. But that doesn't mean that high sale is lost because down the road itself, right, the trust is built even more. Maybe they have more budget ready and then that's where you get the high ticket sale. So even if you do not close on the first point in time, right, as long as you have some backups to continue to build the trust, right, it will come to you over time as well.
When you say the multi-tier offer, how do you design that? Yes. I mean, some of them may have like 3 tiers or 5 tiers, but actually what is the optimal number?
Right. So what is most important is for these different offers to be highly related to one another, such that it does not take up extra time, effort, and resources from you to design these different offers. What do I mean? Some people, their low ticket offer is maybe a book, and then their mid ticket offer is group coaching, and then their high ticket offer is a workshop or keynote, different deliverables. And that means they have to come up with 3 different products itself. My recommendation is one way is to have different level of access you. So maybe one is they are only able to access the paid community, and then the other is that they have group coaching, and then the other highest tier is that they have one-to-one coaching. Because either way, your highest tier, you will already have a portal, you already have a paid community, you will already be giving group access already. So it does not take up too much and resources from you because it's just a different level of access. And the second way is more straightforward, which is subscription, monthly, quarterly, annually, etc. So these ways itself, right, it allows you to have different levels of offer and different price point, yet not take up too much of your time and energy.
So just to provide some context, because most of us, if not all of us are educators here, we are tutors as well. So I think that's the subscription one, the monthly, quarterly, and yearly one makes more sense. Maybe I just want to hear from you, like from experience, also in a tutor's context, how can we design our tutor program to be like a paid community and then versus group coaching versus one-to-one? The one I think will give more value to the current people who are currently here.
Your students, right? Like high ticket for your students itself.
So the tutors, like for example, your university friend who is as young as you. So let's say for him, maybe we can use him as a guinea pig. So what can he do to apply your hiding for his secondary school or primary school or math students?
Got it. Okay, so let's talk from the offer part, right? One thing that I will always encourage people to think about, right? It may sound very simplistic, but it is really one of the most powerful concepts, is to solve rich people problem so that you can sell to rich people. So based on your experience, right, richer parents, those richer demographics, what do they want more often? Well, for my side, right, what I always realize is that they want things to be fast, easy, and guaranteed. For your side, right, what is it more applicable for them? Is it prestige? Is it hands-on? Is it one-to-one? So you know what appeals to that higher level of demographics. You can cater your packaging, right, to suit that one more. And that will be your highest level tier already. And then from there, you can break down further more because you do not want to just appeal to the higher end market. Because at the point in time, you will also want cash flow from the other markets as well because it will help you to reinvest back in your business. And that's why for those of you who may have come across Alex from Mozi, I'm not sure if all of you have heard of him before. His higher tier is essentially being a private equity with all the other businesses. But why does he still sell his $10 books? Why does he still have like a $9 school subscription, all this, to reach out to the lower? But all of this packaging itself, right, it comes from the highest end first, and then you work downwards. Because when it's from the higher end and you work downwards, there's prestige is there already. It's like how Lamborghini, if right now Lamborghini were to go down to one tier to come up with a lower tier product, it will seem prestigious as well. But if right now Honda try to come up with a premium, right, people will think that, oh, okay, maybe it's still not as prestigious. So I always encourage people to start from the top end, right? What is your highest tier client, right? What are they looking for? And then from there, you come out with all those lower, right? So maybe for Titus' case, right, his higher tier is a one-to-one experiential learning. But if let's say it's out of the parents' budget whatsoever, then he has his group. And then he has maybe his online teaching portal or something he's, I think, working on his GPT. His GPT, that's the lower tier as well. So that's what I would encourage. Always start from the highest tier and then you break down to the lower.
Starting from the higher tier is very refreshing. Even for me, being a marketer for 20 years, oh my God, I just maybe my age, which is why I was from NTU Toastmasters 20 years ago and he's like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Anyway, that's on the point. I realized that most of us actually funnels from the lowest tier, like premium, then low. But I actually learned something new today, which is to start from the highest tier. So for example, for Type, probably the highest tier will be, can have a date with him, like a one-to-one dinner, and then squeeze his brain. Is there something
unlimited access, all those things about the level of access
So like it's a proximity to the got it. Thing else that works very well for your clients, especially those who are very consistent in closing high ticket. What's the mindset that you them?
Frankly speaking, right, is just do it. Although it may seem very simple, I would say at the end of the day, regardless of what challenges you face, if you feel that you are lacking cash flow, if you feel that no one is buying, you feel that you do not have enough market research, right? The solution to me, right, is just put your offer out there. Because only when you put your offer out there, you really get real market feedback. You can have coaches, consultants, all this. Yes, we will share with you based on our experience itself. But at the end of the day, the real answer is in the market itself. Because no matter how big the company is, no matter how smart the person is, no one can have 100% right all the time. Like for example, we use the example of Lamborghini, right? They wanted to come up with an e-car. Recently, even before they design the e-car, even before it come out to market, they have to stop it already because there's no demand. Right? Same for Google glasses. Back then there was a period of time Google wanted to come out with their own glasses. They also stop it. All these people have the smartest minds and patience supporting them, and yet they also have failed products, which is normal. Which is why I say, right, the solution is to put your offer out there. If you realize that the closing ratio is not high, your pitch, all this, you do your best, and then you take the offer accordingly. So that's why observe, right, those who are really successful, right, they just take action, they just implement, they just put their offer out there. It cannot work, they make tweaks until they find the sweet spot, right, and then they double down on it.
Got it. I think it's a personal question. So when you guide and coach them to make tweaks, what are some of the questions that you ask them so that they are doing the proper tweaking and not going down the rabbit hole of somewhere else? They may end up somewhere else. So guide them in terms of the top process.
So something I always recommend people to do, when people don't buy from them, a lot of people, they just disappear, forget it. I always ask for feedback. When you can't close a sale, right, ask for the feedback. Oh, perhaps what do you feel I could have done so that this will be more appealing for you? So that's how they get their market feedback and that's how they get their market research. If you want to incentivize people, right, you can say that, oh, by filling up this feedback, right, I'll give you a free ebook whatsoever. So that's how you can get all these different feedback. Or perhaps in the market right now, right, they want more customization, which is what I realized the coaching market is going more into, because now a lot of, AI, all this, they can get answered quickly, but more people still prefer the personalization where you work with them one for one. That's why my personal coaching program right now, I put some done for you and done with you element. But I only got to know it, right, because I got feedback from the market. So that's what's very important, which is when you put out your offer, when you don't just disappear on the lead itself, right? Ask what do you feel can be appealing so that I can refine my offer and perhaps this can be something that's more suitable for you.
Wow, done for you and done with you. For the tutors out there, I'm not sure what you can do. Let's say you're a primary school tutor, done with you, you can get the child in the homework. But I'm not sure whether if you implement a done for you, hello students, I'm going to do your homework for you.
Maybe the cheat sheet or something. I'm not sure whether nowadays they still use cheat sheet or something, but maybe you can offer them cheat sheets and stuff like that.
So if you're doing done for you, active donor, but if you're the idea done for you, you may want to write with your left hand so that it looks like the kid's handwriting. This is what I learned from my students. It's really interesting to customize. Maybe we go deep. I think I really like hearing in the sense of I'm also learning a lot of stuff. So customization wise, but there's also another school of thought which is customization it's not very helpful in scaling or growing your program. So what is the balance in terms of customization? But sometimes if you customize too deep, right, and end up you can scale. But I'm not sure whether is there another thought process for that so that we can still customize and still scale.
Very good question. So the thing is that what you have said, right, very accurate, which is it should not too much out of us and it should have a level of scalability right there. So for example, for me, right, what I do in my one-to-one right now is that everyone, I would also tell them that I provide them a personalized lead generating content. So to many people, it sounds very effective. Well, you help me write lead generating content. But right now we have AI, which I can generate very easy. So it does not take a lot out of me, right? So while you provide that personalization, it is also very important for you to think on the way on how you can create in a manner that is resource effective so that you can scale. At a bigger level, what I also notice other people do is that they outsource the work, or they have so-called associate coaches or associate consultants. So by doing that, right, it does not take out too much from you and you can scale accordingly, yet in something that they see is highly valuable, right? Because like I tell them, I give them lead generating course as well as 1 minute per month. So it seems very, very attractive, but it does not take a lot out of me because I got the right AI prompts to show that it's not like AI, but yet achieve the...
Wow, lead generating posts as in you provide them the content for the posts.
Correct.
Will it sound like their voice? Just
Yeah, so that's why I have to customize accordingly, get to know a little bit more about what they provide all this. Of course, they can edit lah, but I give them the whole post already. It's up to them if they want to add the thing, adjust the thing, whatsoever.
Got it. And the lead magnet will be, I guess, it'll be more towards the financial literacy.
Customized based on theirs. So like let's say if I'm working with a digital marketer on how to get leads through it, then I would create a lead magnet for them to send out to their audience, get their contacts, or to get engagement so that they can engage those people who engage their posts.
One thing to clarify, because my impression of you, because I also follow you in LinkedIn, and I saw the ravings from the financial leaders. So I thought that you are only serving the financial literacy space. What other spaces you are serving?
Right. So for the sales space, right? So I started out in investment and insurance sales, so that's sit myself. But for the sales consulting part, mainly service-based business, because that's when the overlap is. Because at the end of the day, it's really all about offer, positioning, lead generation, closing, etc. So that's what I also wanted to do. I don't want to be in the just be in the finance sales space. And anyway, now there is very saturated in Singapore, so we have a lot of people aiming there also. So I wanted to extend it to service providers in general. So yeah, that's how I work with coaches and consultants as well.
But so anybody who's selling, it can be as well who is selling like
correct. Service-based, high ticket preferably. Who I probably, which is more relevant, are people who are maybe in F&B, or people who are doing merchandise, people who are in e-commerce, where they sell in volumes, or they do not need to be front-facing. Then my techniques will not be so suitable for them. But as long as it's client-facing, it's high ticket, it's service-based, then it's more suitable.
When you say high ticket, is there like a range of sales dollars from like the minimum?
Right, so different people will have different take on it. Personally, I would say at least $1,000 per person.
So if selling his whole year of secondary school math tuition program, which can amount to easily $10,000 for the whole year, he's a prospect. Right? Anyway, I think both of you are very young, so I'm jealous already.
No, very young.
I think one takeaway from me is more like, as much as it seems customized for your clients, but the system that does this customization needs to be there so that it does not eat too much into your time and effort for it. So it's like something like, in my own opinion, it's like what is considered as high value for your clients is customized, but make sure that when you customize that part of your business, you have a whole team or a whole crew or system doing that it doesn't your time. Oh, wow.
Right. I mean, like you're quite well versed with AI also. Like, 1 minute you can one post a day. 1 minute you can come up with one post a day. So
that one is being forced. That one, I have no choice because I only have 2 hours a day to do my stuff until my daughters come home and then they are just going to and they need me. I mean, in a sense, I think that they need me. All right. Okay. At the same time, I think that it's really well discussed. For those who are out there, any questions for talk? We may be into our last 5 or 10 minutes, depending on Thomas. Anything else? Okay. Do you have
all good.
Do you have like frameworks? Any acronyms, any signature program steps that you get your clients to follow, like maybe A, C, D, E, F, G?
Right. So in terms of the sales closing itself, I have a whole framework. You all can actually go by LinkedIn and download my book itself. I think I have already. But what I would say is very important when it comes to sales closing. A lot of people, they just go into pitching about their products. Yes, right. Oh, I have this package. What is always most important is you ask the questions that are necessary. Lead with questions. Ask them like, what are they looking for? What are their goals? What have they tried out beforehand? What results that they want to achieve, all of this. When you ask all these questions, right, they will not feel that you are selling them. They will feel that you are helping them to solve a problem. I think this is something that is a game changer for, especially as a salesperson. Because a lot of time, salespeople, we are very excited to share about all our different packages. We write down this package. Always lead with the question. So when you ask all these questions already, right, I call this ABAO framework, benefit, alternatives, as well as objections. So benefits I will align my services, or rather your services, right, with what they are looking for. And you will only know what they are looking for when you have asked the questions earlier, right? Here's the secret sauce. Because a lot of time, right, they will not share with you what they are thinking. They may already have some hidden objections. They may already have some other alternatives already. Yeah. So what I will also do in my sales pitch is I will mention about some some objections that commonly other people have. And I will address them even before they bring it up. Why will I do that? Because a lot of times these things are done. You don't address them, they never bring up, they don't buy. So some alternatives, right? Perhaps like people think that they can learn themselves whatsoever, right? I will subtly mention in my presentation. Oh, we have students who think that they can, just learn on YouTube, all this. But what we realize is that YouTube, the syllabus are not so up to date, and when they have questions, right, they are not able to ask the content creator directly itself, which is why we have this personalization. So although we have our own library of resources, we are always providing a hotline for them to have any questions that they can ask. So all this I already addressed in my presentation. They never bring up, I will also address as part of the common thoughts and objections and alternatives. So when I do so, right, I will already address already. So even if they don't share with me, right, I will already address. After all that, right, then I will ask whether they got any questions or anything that they want to consider. Then that's where perhaps they will share objections that they are comfortable with. But if they have these hidden objections already, right, that's how I address them accordingly. Which is why it's back to my part that it is very important for you to lead with questions first. Ask them what they are looking for, what are their goals, some things that they have tried out before already. Because if they have tried out other tuition providers already and it's not working, and you are providing the same thing, why will they approach your services? Correct? So
Got it. As a sharing, you really help me to refine and also understand why we are taught like that for sales. So one of the things that I remember my mentor taught me was the one who asked more questions frame the whole sales process. So sometimes I know for tutor, when I was very much young, oh my gosh, I have issue with age now. So I realized that I let the, moms or dad, they ask me a lot of questions. End up I freak out because, and I realized that they are controlling the frame. End up I am just going down the rabbit hole and just reacting, not responding. End up they didn't sign up and I'm also not sure why. So I realized that the one who asks questions control the conversation and control the frame. So ask more questions now. And I think I also like the objections that you say, really pointing out to the pink elephant in the room. I'm not sure is that the right energy about this elephant in the room? People are pretending not to see, but actually it's there. So it's important to point out the pink elephant, which is the objection, so that you bring it out and it may not be so awkward as well. And I think one of the things that I also want to ask based on experience, to handle objection, right? Sometimes it can be intimidating. I mean, personally, for me, I don't like confrontation or objection. So how do you coach a person to be comfortable with objection and not freak out like me?
Right. So I got a framework for that. I call it AIM, acknowledge the objection, investigate the root cause of the objection, and manage the root cause, right? So many a times, people, when they face the objection, they will say, hey, don't charge me this thing very cheap, very value for money or whatsoever. You must always acknowledge it first, because once you just fight back, right, then it is forces coming in already. So you will say, oh, okay, I understand that, this may seem a little bit pricey for me. So that's the acknowledgement. Then you have to investigate. So usually when people talk about price, right, it's two things. It's either really out of the budget or they don't see the value in it. So then that's where I investigate the cost. So I will ask them that, okay, so you say that it's too pricey. Is it something that's, perhaps out of your budget? Or maybe you feel that for such services, there are other alternatives that are maybe more value for money. I will listen to that. If they say it's out of their budget, then I will provide them alternatives, which is why we always want to have our down sales, right? If they say that, oh, perhaps, there are other alternatives out there whatsoever, then that's why you bring out why you are not like the other alternatives, why you are a step above them, and why this price is actually deserving. Which is why it's very important to define the root cause. Because if you don't identify the root cause correctly, you will address it in the wrong way. Perhaps they already have the budget already, then you downsell them, then you lose out on the so-called potential profit, right? So that's how you AI, which is you investigate it, then you manage it accordingly. But what's most important is you look at it not as a teamwork. You're working to find the best solution for them.
Got it. I got one question. How do you know that root cause is the real root cause?
Very good. So that's why right from the framing itself, right, it has to be very important that they are comfortable with you. So I always tell people, right, you don't be like the aggressive, very pushy salesman itself. Be a friend to them. When will we be honest to someone? Where we are feeling comfortable with, where we feel that they are very warm, welcoming, that they will not judge you no matter what the reasons are. Then that itself is how you work. Because you cannot force people to be honest. It has to be something comes from them. So you ask yourself, when are you the time when you will be honest? And that person is very welcoming, friendly, someone who is really there for you.
Got it. I ask a bit more because I know that you have so much experience, and I think I mean, for the frameworks, I'm reading your LinkedIn post, and I also learn a lot from how you set up the LinkedIn account and your profile page. What about the judgment? Okay, from my experience of working with, I think not just educators, the coaches, people who, this happen very often, especially for people who are very hard-based. They're so much hard to serve. And sometimes when it comes to the sales, right, they may have different values. At the same time, sometimes I also hear comments like they are quite scared to receive the payment or ask for higher payment. And we're thinking that if I can, right, I will work for free. So which is not something very helpful. Unless she's super rich. Maybe she's super rich. Okay, I don't know. So what will be the way to work on the mindset that I deserve this? Yes, I judge myself, but I deserve to be paid the amount for the kind of great work that I'm doing.
So there are things, right? If you are really so thoughtful and focused on the client, right, you should touch it. You should touch the money, because that is doing them a service, not a disservice. Two reasons why. First off, right, when you teach them money, right, that's where they will take seriously. You ask yourself, probably you come across a lot of freebies before, whether is it an ebook, whether is it some items that people give in the supermarket whatsoever. Many times they just end up somewhere, collecting dust. Why? Because it is free, right? Because there's no commitment, that's why you just put it in one side. That's the first reason. You are charging for a benefit. The second reason is when you charge a good amount of money, you can reinvest back into a business, you can share more abundantly, you can be a better space to give back more. So if you are really so focused on your client and you want to do the best for them, yes, you should charge them. So that's how you should frame your mindset accordingly.
One more question before we open the floor to questions that are coming in. Okay, I know that for sales, definitely KPI, we want the sales. But at the same time, what's your take on saying yes to sales that knowing that we can't help the person?
Right.
Or how do we know that we can't versus balancing the idea of, hey, we need the sales because we still have bills to pay, we still have to feed the family or answer to our company because there's KPI to be met.
So we will be in that situation all because of one reason. We do not have enough sales pipeline. So whatever your thinking, perspective is, it's up to you. For me, right, I will not do the sale because I realize that I close a bad client is worse than I never close a client at all. But if you want to go ahead with all this, right, it's your choice. But I would say people will only be placed in that dilemma, right, when they do not have enough sales pipeline. Then they start to become, I have to be a little bit more aggressive. I have to take sales that maybe I don't really feel comfortable with it. But when you have that huge amount of sales pipeline, you are comfortable because you know that even if you lose this sale, there are 10 more other sales. And that's why it's always very important for you to put yourself in that position. And when you put yourself in that position, right, when you pitch, right, you will also be less aggressive. People will see you pitching from a position of authority. That's why every single day, what I tell people is every single day you have to be prospecting. A lot of people reach that level is because when sales deadline coming already, they start to jump. But if sales is an everyday activity of yours, right, you will not have this problem. Right?
Prospecting. Well, a lot of things will ask you now that because you open up the prospecting. Sarah, you went for a while. Okay, so how do you do prospecting every day? I mean, I think that may be relevant to your pipeline because when you have an effective pipeline, you have abundant. So maybe you can run through that, then you can take Sarah's question.
Right. So actually, there are many different ways to do prospecting. So for me, I do two main ways. One is I run Facebook ads and another is I do lead outreach itself. Right. So it really depends on where your ICP they are, your ideal client profile, and which one can you consistently do. So a lot of sales coaches out there, they are doing TikTok, they are doing Instagram Reel, show themselves closing the client whatsoever. But that's not something that I do because I know I cannot consistently come up with videos. I know video content, but I'm not someone who will consistently do it. So I know that's not a method that's suitable for me. So I have to find other methods that I can do consistently and that can allow me to reach out to my ICP. So that's something for you to consider as well. So consistency and ICP outreach, that's why it's very important. Second thing that I want to add, right, to have value-adding follow-ups. And this is very important. When you come across a lead, regardless of whether the person buy from you or not, find some way to include that person in the CRM. So for me, right, I include in WhatsApp broadcasts where I continue to give them value, where I continue to nurture them. Because they don't buy today does not mean they do not buy 1 month or 2 months down the road, right? So perhaps for you, you can set up like a Telegram channel. You say that, okay, maybe you feel that this is not suitable for you at this point in time. No worries, you can join our Telegram channel because right there, we also give a lot of free resources and we have exciting promotions from time to time. So you constantly nurture them because you already get this lead already. Don't waste it by just, because this is, I don't close the sale now, so it's a dead lead whatsoever. You never know, right? Or maybe that lead go or someone else and then they will think about you. So that's the constant nurture process that I will also do.
I have the kind of experience like the mom asked us and then find that it's more expensive than the market rate. Then she tried the others and then they came back again.
Correct. Yeah. So the whole idea is to continue to have touch points with them.
Got it. One last question from me before the Sarah's question. Sorry, because I suddenly, when Thomas asked a lot of questions, share a lot of things. I think it's really making sure that all of you got value here and we can go in up, down, left, right, north, south, east, west. I hope I remember what I want to ask. Actually, wait. So that I forgot. Oh my gosh. Malu, okay. Maybe you can cover Sarah's question first. I'm thinking.
Sure. Let me check out her question. So
value.
Any tips on such layered conversations on WhatsApp? How from WhatsApp? Do we request?
Quite a lot, huh?
What in parents not the call on WhatsApp? So I will always give options to see what they are comfortable with. Because what I realized is that some people, they don't give them options. They totally don't want to contact you at all. So I will say that we can do this via WhatsApp or in person, if I'm getting your question right, see which one you are more comfortable with. So for example, like for my FA side, right, I will tell them that we can meet in person or meet over Zoom. See which one you are more comfortable with. So personally, I will give them an option because what I realize is that I don't give them an option, right? Some people, they just don't pay at all. So I will give them an option so that they can be more open to meeting me. I mean, at the end of the day, what's most important is I get to see them face to face. Hope that answers.
Maybe I can also share my take on that. What I learned across the years is people, when they know that you want to meet up, means that you're going to sell them something. But at the same time, I think from a person as a service provider, when we approach this kind of case, we come from a space whereby we're adding value, and it's up to you to say yes or no. I think it's like asking for proposal. I mean, of course, proposal wise, we expect the girlfriend to say yes. But at the same time, I think it's really, there can be two answers, yes or no now. Or maybe no for now, yes later. So your mindset must be important, that you are able to walk away anytime you want. And like what Thomas said, your sales is coming from your leads are coming from all directions. And then this is just one of your needs.
Awesome. All right. So for John's question, someone who wants sales and tried something for 1-2 months, they don't see results and give up. So here's the thing. A lot of people in sales is right. You keep trying. And that was the mistake I made, because I keep trying the same thing and I don't see results. So when I first started investment sales itself, right, I do door knocking. There are people who do door knocking, but they're very, very, very good. But not for me. I just am horrible at it. But I listen to my, other people's advice. Oh, be patient, keep going. And then for 1 year, right, I never see results. And then after that, right, I changed my method, right. My results like 10x literally, right.
Wow, that's what you do.
So I run Facebook ads, which is more suitable for me. So there are many different methods to success, but you must do something that's suitable for you, right? So after that, when I run Facebook ads, that's where my turnaround actually happened for my investment sales itself. That's the thing. When you find something that's not working, right, you have to change already. Don't like wait longer and then see the boat sink some more. Change already. And the second thing that helps me a lot, right, is the concept of success modeling. So what I do is I see the top people in the industry, what they are, and then I try out those different methods. And then finally, I find the method that's suitable for me. So success modeling, and once you feel that something is not working, right, change already. Change the method.
My experience on that is when we tried something and it doesn't work for us, I think there are two thoughts. One is like, it's a waste of my time, which I think is most of the cases, like, oh, I wasted my time, I didn't get results, and I'm so lousy in my sales. That I would say is a big mindset. The mindset that Thomas, I think I heard from you is, okay, it doesn't work for me, so I tried method A, though I didn't get anything, but it's still my experience. And because now I know it doesn't work, let me try B and maybe C, D, and I don't just anyhow try and waste my time again. Or rather, how the best use of my time is I look at the models that is working. So really asking ourselves constructing feedback rather than seeing ourselves as a victim of the situation. So to the people out here, Sarah, I hope that we answer your question. If no, let us know, because it's really many questions and I think it's multi-layer. So Thomas, I'm sure he does what he can. That having said that, anybody else has any questions? Last call, 1, 2, 3. No. So Thomas, maybe I just add one more thing. What's your take on? I know that you run Facebook ads, and of course for your industry, the cost, the ROI could be much higher. There's also knowledge of the cost per lead is getting more expensive. So how do we nurture the leads that are coming in, even though it's a no for now?
Right. So there are mixed school of thoughts when it comes to running ads on these. So just to share about how you can get the lead cost effectively, etc. So what I learned from Melvin So and Brian Ang, is what they say is you have to get your personal brand at the same time, so people get to know you, and then they see your ads and they will click in more whatsoever. Second way, which I run, by the way, the ads I run, no one know me on. I never build any personal branding on. But how I know the ad works is I go to library. So for those of you who got experience running Facebook ads, you can go to library, you can go see all the successful ads over there. How do you know an ad is successful? Someone has run it for quite a while already. Because if someone runs it for quite a while and not successful, they are wasting. So it cannot be that it's not successful. So you understand the angle, you understand the hook, right? And then you get inspiration from there. So that is how I realized that the ad is effective. I just get inspiration and I just run it. And then the leads come in, like what I mentioned, every leads, right? Don't lose, even if they don't buy from you, right? Put it in a CRM where you can constantly nurture. I have clients who I spoke 2 years ago, and then after 2 years later, then they buy from me. So it is a common thing.
So what I'm sensing, what may be working right now is also people are yearning, AI, people are also yearning more for personal connection and engagement. And as you build your leads, also build your tribe, people around you, and keep them close to you as well. And continue to add value to them as long as they are within your circle of trust, which I thought is quite a nice way to end it. What's your best advice? Because I think you shared many layers of selling and also different framework and a funnel. What's your best advice for educators and tutors out here?
Don't position yourself as a commodity, because if you position yourself as a commodity, just another tutor, etc., right? There are so many out there. So you want to give yourself that premium positioning. What makes you different? Is it a specific method? Is it a specific, demographics that you are working with? Why are you different from the others? I think that's what is very important. Or maybe it's an outcome that you want to achieve, It's not just achieving this, but also perhaps future readiness, a concept that you can come up with. So that's your differentiating factor. And the thing that I would like to say is you all feel that you are in a very competitive industry. I love competitive industry. FA is such a competitive industry, right? Coaching, training, all this is such a competitive industry. That means there's money to be made there. Or else people will not be there. Or else there will not be people, so many people there. So what you need to do is really, how are you different? Because being different is better than better, right? So that is what you want to know, that you are going the right step. The goal mine is there. That's why there are so many people there. But what can make you stand out?
Got it. It's a red ocean, yes, and because it's red ocean, simply because there's money, why the sharks and the whales are all inside.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. I think I think it's what you have shared is very true to tuition market lah. Because in my experience of talking to educators, I think 100 to 200 of them, when I ask them to introduce themselves, most of them stop at, oh, I teach science, I teach math, and that's it. If I'm a parent looking for tutors for my own children, I think I appreciate if the child said, oh, I specialize in helping students who fear math. I specialize in helping kids who have parents who are very hands-on, or I help kids in math, yes, but also work on their mindset as well. Just something easy on top of the subject.
Yes.
Thomas, thank you so much